Yo, what's going on, people? Full chest here. Oh yeah, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, hit the subscribe button right there. Subscribe to the channel, comment, like. Got more interesting stuff coming up. Stay tuned, but please subscribe to the channel if you're watching this video. So this is the thing, right? I think that relationships are like very intricate, right? And if you want to comment on people's relationship, you have to be very careful. The carefulness increases when it becomes marriage. Like the institution of marriage, when you're making comments about it, you have to be very careful, right? So unless you're in the same house with people, you're sleeping on the same, like you're in with them, people should just reserve. You should never talk with your full chest. Never. If you don't know what's going, do not. Now, if you're in there with them, then feel free. Talk with your full chest. Pun intended, by the way. So, now, the case with 2Baba, a.k.a. 2face, a.k.a. Innocent Idibia, and Annie, the wife, it's a very, if you've been watching the two for a while, it's a very kind of, the relationship is one kind, right? I didn't really want to say anything because I know everyone is jumping on this thing, on this bandwagon and trying to talk about their relationship. But after I watched Nigeria's copy version of The View, where especially one particular woman, she made some comments that I thought were very, very unfair. They're very biased comments. And they're not comments that you should make if you're not sleeping on the same bed with 2face and Annie Idibia. If you're not on the same bed with them, you shouldn't make those comments with your full chest. You should reserve it. But before I get into my opinion, just watch what she said and let me know what you think.
What kind of advice can we give her? And how? Because she too must be going through some serious mental stress.
Because of advice, I'm sorry to cut you off, but doesn't it reek of low self-esteem to date somebody like a 2face? For you to even allow a 2face to propose to you, for you to leave your whole self, your lawmaker self, and fall in love with somebody that has that kind of drama, X amount of women in his life, and with that.
He's still human.
He's human, but I'm saying, doesn't I mean, on Natasha's part, would you, as a person, as you are like this, as you find like this, go and then date someone like him?
An established woman.
Also, for me personally, I'm like, Auntie, are you okay? Can you see it?
Have you met 2face before?
I've not met 2face before.
He has
So maybe he has
but he has baggage. He has enough baggage for you to look at it and say, I'm not going there. If I were a Natasha, you would date me for 5 years first.
Okay,
so what for a long time.
So what I'm going to ask you really is that, is it that 2face does not deserve to remarry?
Exactly.
Or to have other relationships?
He doesn't deserve it.
He doesn't deserve it.
He doesn't deserve it, like, because
He does not deserve it.
You're going to train.
No. Let me tell you why he does not deserve. Let me tell you why. See, listen. If you put yourself as a woman, if you put yourself in if you put a woman in 2face shoes, would a woman ever get away with that kind of thing? Never.
Never.
A woman get away with what 2face does.
It's like no balance now. There's no balance now.
You know they're getting away with it.
But we are
I don't think he deserves love. No, he doesn't. He deserves to step put with Annie.
We already know it's not balanced.
He step put with her.
I don't agree. Everybody has to
Mama Annie.
No, see, the truth is we don't really know what's happening. There are many stories we've heard before where the person that is the public villain is actually the victim. We sit down, we talk. So I'm not making a case for them. I'm just saying be careful. Sometimes the person that you're looking as the villain, the cause of all the issues, may not just be the issue. Do you understand? The person inside may be the person who has the problem. We have seen many victims, many villains that look like they are victims.
From the video, there are a couple things that lady mentioned. When she mentions that the lady, Natasha, who is a lawmaker, I don't even know who this woman was. Like, I don't think anyone knew her up until now. So she mentioned that the lady must have low self-esteem because she's dating 2face. Are you serious? Are you kidding me? Low self-esteem. Does she know who 2Baba is? Like, literally, is she aware of this man's accomplishment? Without 2Baba, 2face, where Nigerian music industry is when it comes to Afro beats will be impossible. From Plantation Boys to his solo albums, to how he presented Nigeria to the world. We have to understand the character of 2Baba. Forget his personal life. For this man was clean. The way he presented Nigeria to the world, because he was the face of Afrobeat for a long, before he became even the worldwide genre it is now. Come on, man. African Queen was a global phenomenon. Like, that is the song that even made Afrobeat become Afrobeat. You know, like there's 1,000 remixes of that song. And apart from that, he does a lot of things within the country. So for someone to forget all of this and come on national TV and say that someone trying to be with him has low self-esteem, it's like daft. It's the most ridiculous thing that you can say. So I do not agree at all with that lady for saying the Natasha girl has low self-esteem for dating. I know she's talking about the fact that he has, kids and this and that and that. I mean, there are governors in Nigeria, lawmakers who have multiple wives, and stuff, just because theirs is not in the public eye like that. And it's not 2face's fault that his relationship in the public. And I'll get to that as well. Another thing that the lady mentioned is that 2Baba does not deserve love or remarriage. I understand she's speaking with her emotions, at this point. But to say that he does not deserve love is just asinine. It's crazy. You cannot opine that somebody does not deserve love because you don't know what happened. You don't know anything about their relationship. You don't know whose fault it is. You don't know none of that stuff. So you cannot say that he doesn't deserve love or he's not, like, he doesn't deserve to marry. He should just stay with Annie. What if it's an abusive situation? Because we don't know what's going on at all. So, and then she goes on to say that what if the case was reversed, and it was a woman? Lady, how old are you? At your age, you should know that there are privileges within the genders. There are male privileges and there are female privileges. And I'm not going to go into that. If you have common sense, you will know that there are privileges. There are certain things that favor this gender and the other. And that's how life is, right? And certain things we can't just change. So for you to say, oh, if we reverse the case, come on, that's just childish mentality. And that's the nonsense that is killing, is just making people become delusional these days. Understand something as an adult, say stuff with facts, and stop trying to reverse. And because you can never become what you're not. So I think that point was just baseless and should not have been mentioned at all. Now, here's my take, right? Here's my take on this. If you watched, which is one of my guilty pleasures, Young, Famous or Young, Rich, Famous Africans on Netflix, if you watched the new season and you watched Annie Idibia during that whole episodes and season, you'll see that something was off. Like, something was off with her. Now, I don't know if there was a script she was reading. I don't know if it was like how they placed her or what they wanted her to look like in order for them to sell the show. But really, something was really off with her in that show. She's presented as someone who was under some kind of influence, someone who had some kind of mental disturbance. So there was something really off with her throughout that season. That's one. Second of all, even when, the former season, she brought on 2face or 2Baba to the show, you can see that he didn't want to be on that show. His demeanor wasn't good. And he even made some statements that he should have kept to himself. But again, because he was so uncomfortable in the situation, he couldn't help himself but say those things because he's not used to that. All 2face's career, 2Baba's career, if you follow him, you know that he's a guy who just wants to perform and just live his life. Like, he's not the one to be in your face in the cameras and all that stuff. He's a simple guy, right? Now, this brings me to my last point. If you watch the media now, you see all this public display of affection that I've never seen 2Baba do. All of a sudden, he's all over the place. He's talking, he's yelling and proposing, spraying money, which he never used to do before. So that causes me to think that something is wrong somewhere. Something really happened and something is going on that meets the eye of us in the public, right? Something is going on and it behooves those who are close to them to really find out what is happening and to find a way to help both Annie and Tubaba. Because even the whole proposal with the Natasha girl was weird. It was like, what's going on? Like, so I think that there's something going on. I think something is really happening between both of them, and both of them need help. And we shouldn't only assassinate the character of one person and leave the other person. Like the lady in the show mentioned that sometimes the person who presents as the villain is sometimes the victim. That's something we have to be careful. That's why I say with relationships, you have to be careful. If you're not sleeping on the same bed with them and in the same house, you can't make comments with your full chest.